Good evening, Professor Clark. This is my dog, Bo. Today I will be presenting my performance task. To further explain to you, a performance task is characterized as an authentic learning assessment that allows students to perform, solve problems, and create original problems. And lastly, demonstrate particular skills. There are two types: restricted performances and extended performances that need to be identified in the assessment, in which I will be informing you about my restricted performance assessment. In addition, performance assessments connect prior knowledge and experiences to new situations. They measure what students can and cannot do within a real-life setting. They are assessed on a criteria-based assessment rather than a standard objective assessment. The purpose of a performance task is for students to demonstrate or perform in various ways: realistic problems, oral, psychomotor skills, writing, demonstrating, or through integrated disciplines. Overall, the use of a performance task is to help students use higher order thinking skills in real-life situations and problems. To inform you about the process by which I designed my performance task assessment and rubric was to first align it to the instructional objectives and standards. In this case, a standard. Identify and make my performance assessment valid and reliable, identify its purpose, and what data I would gather as a result of my assessment. My performance assessment is an original, self-created assessment based on a first grade standard on math content. As I stated, the grade I chose is first grade. The subject is geometry, the topic is time, and to describe the alignment with the instructional objectives in standard I chose a standard that is OAS 1.GM.3. The student will be able to tell time to the hour and full hour. I have two instructional objectives. The first one is 1.GM.3.1. Students will be able to demonstrate how to tell time to the hour and half hour in analog time. My other instructional objective, again, is 1.GM.3.1. Student will be able to demonstrate how to tell time to the hour and half hour in digital time. My students will demonstrate to me how to tell time to the hour and half hour in both analog and digital time. I will hand out clocks and blank digital clocks so they can demonstrate how they were able to tell time. I will give them 10 different times for each clock. After aligning my standard and instructional objectives, I will create my assessment. In this case, I created my scoring information, the rubric for the performance task assessment. My criteria is on a 3-2-1 scale. My first criteria is the student will be able to demonstrate how to tell time to the hour and half hour in analog time. My target is that the student was able to demonstrate all the time to the hour and half hour in analog time. My acceptable is the student was able to demonstrate more than half of the times to the hour and half hour in analog time. My unacceptable is that the student was not able to demonstrate any of the times to the hour and half an hour in analog time. My other criteria is that the student will be able to demonstrate how to tell time to the hour and half hour in digital time. My target is that the student was able to demonstrate all the time to the hour and half hour in digital time. My acceptable was that the student was able to demonstrate more than half of the times to the hour and half hour in digital time. And lastly, my unacceptable was that the student was not able to demonstrate any of the times to the hour and half hour in digital time. And my scale for the assessment is 6 points equals an A, 5 points equals a B, 4 equals C, 3 equals D, and anything below is a 3, which is an F. The validity and performance task validity refers to what the assessment is intended to measure. Its validity is achieved with instructional objectives aligned with the state standards. Performance tasks are to be assessed based on a specific criteria that assess students' knowledge and skills to prove if they are able to meet the standards. They can be assessed through rubrics that provide clear expectations, the language of the standards. Negative factors that can affect the validity of the performance task assessment is if the educator grades the assessment subjectively without a well-defined rubric. Performance task reliability refers to its consistency and accuracy of repeatable findings in the assessment. This means that the data needs to be reliable more than one person can agree on what is being assessed. The criteria of the performance assessment must be clear and aligned with the standard and objectives. In addition, some positive factors that affect the reliability is that the assessment shows the teacher if the student has made a misconception about the content. One negative factor that affects the reliability of the assessment if the instruction of the assessment is not clear enough for all students to know what is asked of them, therefore making the performance task unreliable. The purpose of a performance task I chose was to see if my students were able to demonstrate how to tell time to the hour and half hour in analog and demonstrate how to tell time to the hour and half an hour in digital time. They were also challenged to use higher order thinking skills in real life situations and problems through my assessment. Lastly, the data I would gather as a result of my assessment is to show me if my students are able to demonstrate to tell time to the half hour and full hour in both digital and analog time, and that is my standard. Thank you for watching.